future. We were on a pretty good pace going up till the 2008-2009 recession. That recession took us down to a much less exalted pace, but a fairly consistent one. So the blue line, which was back kind of on its normal slide by around 2010, 2011, continued on a fairly nice trajectory up until now. Now we have two options. Option number one, which is in green, is the optimistic one, which says that by 2021, we are very close to where we were before, back on that same trajectory with the missing year, where we have a year of distress and then we get back. The red line is the pessimistic scenario that says we fall a lot deeper than we anticipated and we don't get back to that line, that we stay considerably lower, really back to where we were when we were just emerging from that 2008-2009 recession. The difference between the two comes down to two things. Number one, our governmental decisions. This is a weird recession. It has been from day one because it was not organic. It was not caused by something. Back in 2008, 2009, that was a financial sector collapse. That was a result of a housing bubble and the subprime crisis and a number of factors that, frankly, you could see coming. You knew this was beginning to set up. You knew that a recession was possible and probably even likely. This one, we were sailing along January, February, doing great. We were on pace to grow at 2.6, maybe even faster in the US. And then the entire world gets shut down literally overnight. And it wasn't just us. I mean, that's the thing. It was the entire world. Japan shut down, Europe shut down, China shut down, Australia shut down, everybody shut down. So the key to coming back is opening back up. So when the lockdowns end and when there's no further threat of another lockdown, then the economy has the opportunity to rebound. But as long as the shutdowns are in place and the threat of future shutdowns remains, then you get that pessimistic scenario. The other factor which will be determinant, if the lockdowns are lifted and the consumer isn't ready, then you will still have a decline. The consumer has to be willing to resume their old patterns. Thus far, the consumer has indicated that they are willing to go back to their old ways. They want to spend differently now, and we'll talk more about this as we go. Probably the biggest single change as far as consumption is that we used to spend around 60 to 65% of our disposable income on services. So that has been the area most affected by the lockdowns and will be the most effective going forward. So if we are not resuming our service spending, do we make it up by doing more goods purchasing? Some evidence of that, we'll talk more about that in a minute, but those are the two secrets to getting back to that optimistic scenario. The lockdowns get lifted, they don't get reimposed, and the consumer is anxious to go back to their old ways and begins to spend again, both on goods and services.